Today's lesson is Palawan, a slice of heaven. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. I'm Roger.
And I'm Helen.
And today we're going to continue with our travel unit for the month of May. As you know, it's getting nice and warm outside, and summer vacation is just around the corner. And you might be thinking, gee, where should I go for my vacation this year? Should I go to Europe? Nah, I've been there so many times. Should I go to Russia? Nah, it's kind of dangerous there with the Russian mafia and stuff like that. Maybe I will go to the Philippines. It's not so far away. It's probably only a couple of hours on a plane to get to Manila and then a connecting flight to someplace within the Philippines. So yeah, maybe we can go to Palawan for summer vacation this year.
Right. Sometimes you don't need to go too far to find a slice of heaven. Sometimes it's right in your backyard. Sometimes it's close by. In this case, it's Palawan, which is not that far from Taiwan. It's just a short plane ride away. And once you arrive, you can enjoy fine weather, white sand beaches, coral reefs, scuba diving, and also deep sea diving. So you can do a lot of things on Palawan.
Right. It's a very long island in the Philippines. And again, as we said, it's probably not too difficult to get there. Talk to your travel agent or make some reservations online, and you'll probably have yourself a really good time. And if you've known the Philippine people who work here in Taiwan, you know that they're great people, they're friendly, they're a lot of fun. So if you go to the Philippines, you're certainly going to have the time of your life. Okay, so let's get to it, everybody. Let's listen to the first part of our lesson, and then we'll come back to talk about it.
Besides the beaches, one of Palawan's most famous locations is the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, which contains one of the longest underground rivers in the world. You can paddle about 1.5 kilometers into the cave system and float in total darkness. Over time, the water has created astonishing rock formations that visitors can admire. Don't forget to watch out for the bats that call the caverns home.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 Subterranean 这个字是形容词，指地下的，字首 sub 指在点点点之下。例如 We've heard legends that subterranean passageways exist beneath the city. 我们听过城市下方有通道存在的传说。另外补充几个字首 sub 的单字。第一 Submarine S-U-B-M-A-R-I-N-E Submarine 这个字是名词，指潜水艇。举例来说 If you want to go very deep in the ocean, one way to do it is in a submarine. 如果你想潜到深海去，其中一个办法就是搭潜水艇。第二 Subway S-U-B-W-A-Y Subway 这个字是名词，指地下铁。像是 Dawn used the subway system to go all over New York City. Dawn 以地铁系统行遍整个纽约市。第三 Submerge S-U-B-M-E-R-G-E Submerge 这个字是动词，指沉入水中，浸没。例如 Judith submerged herself in the tub's warm water. Judith 泡在浴缸温水里。接着我们看到动词 paddle 指用桨划船。例如 Each member of the team was beat after paddling upstream for more than 2 hours. 逆流划船超过2个小时之后，队上每一个成员都累坏了。另外，这个字也可以当名词，意思是桨、脚棒。举例来说 You should always have an extra paddle with you in the canoe. 你的独木舟里应该经常多备一把船桨，以防万一。再来，我们看到单字 cavern 这个字是名词，指大洞穴、大地穴。像是 Reed and I had an amazing time exploring and photographing the caverns of South Dakota. Reed 和我在探索和拍摄南达科他州的大洞穴时非常开心。
Now, Palawan isn't all about beaches. Besides the beaches, one of Palawan's most famous locations is the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, which contains one of the longest underground rivers in the world. Wow, that sounds really exciting.
It does actually. It sounds pretty cool here. So the main attraction of Palawan is its beaches, but besides the beaches, in addition to the beaches, one of the most famous locations in Palawan is a place called Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park. So here, this is the name of this national park there, and it's talking about something that is underground, a subterranean river. That's kind of hard to imagine. All the rivers I've seen have been above the ground or on the ground. I can't really imagine a river being subterranean or underground.
Well, it seems that you need to paddle. It says here you need to paddle about 1.5 kilometers into the cave system and float in total darkness. That sounds really exciting and also a bit scary.
It does, and maybe I could enjoy something like this. I've only been to a couple of caves in my life. I think I went to Grutas de Garcia in Mexico, and then I was also in a cave in northern Thailand there. And yes, they're kind of interesting, especially because there are lots of bats in there. But in this particular case, you would go in this cave in a boat, maybe in a canoe or a rowboat, and then you would paddle a long way here, 1.5 kilometers into the cave system, which means there are lots of different smaller caves branching off from the main cave. So it's probably a lot of fun, although I suppose you need to be careful that you don't get lost there. But here we've got the word paddle being used as a verb. That's when you hold a paddle, which is a piece of wood or metal that is like a pole, but then it's wide at one end, maybe both ends. And you just make the boat move by sticking that piece of wood into the water and pulling back with your arms. You paddle into this cave using a paddle.
That's right. So you paddle into the cave, and then once you are there, you can see some incredible sights. And over time, the water has created astonishing rock formations. So these are the sights that you can see, rock formations that you can admire. And these rock formations are astonishing, which means that they are amazing or surprising to look at. For instance, I could say something like, his speedy recovery after the operation is astonishing. It's really surprising.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to recover so quickly. We expected him to be sick for many, many months, but he actually recovered quite fast. It was astonishing. Or I could talk about Mr. Lee. He is such a great investor. He made an astonishing amount of money on the stock market. So in this particular case, though, we're talking about astonishing, amazing, really wonderful rock formations that you can admire and take pictures of and maybe even do sketches of or something like that. So don't forget to watch out for the bats that call the caverns home. And bats, of course, are creatures that stay in caves during the day and then they come out at night. And you got to watch out for bats, even though they're kind of cute and they have the radar and they generally know where they're flying. You still need to be careful because bats carry all sorts of viruses and stuff like that. So watch out for those bats. Be careful about those bats, but you should be okay.
Right. For instance, when I went hiking last weekend, somebody told me, watch out for the dogs on these trails because there is supposedly a pack of wild dogs on the trails and they've been known to attack hikers. So
really? Where's that?
In Hodong.
Hodong. Oh, wow. I guess I better watch out for that. I don't like to be attacked by stray dogs. They're kind of scary. But in any case here, if you're in this cave, watch out for the bats because they actually call the caverns home. Or in other words, that's where they live. A cavern here is just another word for a cave, especially if it's very big and very wide inside. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's talk some more about the natural areas of Palawan.
The natural areas of Palawan are so beautiful that many visitors skip the capital city of Puerto Princesa to their loss. The city possesses many of the island's best restaurants. On the outskirts of Puerto Princesa is a site most tourists don't see, Iwahig, an open prison that focuses on reform instead of punishment. Prisoners here work on farms or sell handmade objects to visitors, and the profit they make goes into savings they receive after their release.
第二部分我们看到名词 outskirt 指郊区、市郊，常用复数形以 the outskirts 表示。例如 My house is located on the outskirts of town in a quiet neighborhood. 我家坐落在市郊的一个安静的社区。另外补充一个同义名词 suburb S-U-B-U-R-B suburb 指城市近郊、郊区，像是 the suburbs 就表示城郊住宅区。我们可以说 Many parents prefer raising their children in the suburbs because they're safer than urban areas. 许多父母宁可在郊区养育儿女，因为比城市安全多了。接着我们看到单字 reform 这个字是名词，指人的行为或事物结构的改造、改正或改革。举例来说 The politician vowed to reform the country's banking system. 那名政治人物誓言要改革国家的银行体系。
Now, the natural areas of Palawan are those sites that usually attract visitors, but a lot of visitors tend to neglect or tend to pass over other areas of Palawan, the more urban areas. So it says here, the natural areas of Palawan are so beautiful that many visitors skip the capital city of Puerto Princesa to their loss. And that means if you skip it, if you don't stop by the city of Puerto Princesa, then you will regret it. It's your loss because it's so beautiful or interesting that if you didn't see it, then it's as if you lost something. You lost the chance to experience, to see something really good.
Yeah, it's really bad for you if you don't experience this. This reminds me back in high school when I tried to ask little Mary Jane out for a date, but she said, I would never go out with you, Roger. You are a lowlife. You have no future earning potential. And I said, well, if you don't want to go out with me, it's your loss. I'm a charming, wonderful person with a great sense of humor. So it was her loss, although I found out later that she married a really rich guy, so I guess her decision was actually wise there to not go out with me. But in any case, that is another story. But we do say this, it's your loss, which means, hey, you missed this great opportunity.
Right, because Puerto Princesa, this city, possesses many of the island's best restaurants. So here, to possess means to own or to have something, very simply. I could say, for instance, the Louvre, which is the museum, the main museum in Paris, possesses some of the most important works of art in the world. So the city of Puerto Princesa possesses many of the island's best restaurants. You can eat very well in this city. On the outskirts of Puerto Princesa is a site most tourists don't see, Iwahig, an open prison that focuses on reform instead of punishment. So this prison is on the outskirts of Puerto Princesa, which means it's not in the center of the city, but it's located in an area that is further away from the center of Puerto Princesa.
Outskirts. I could say that the town of Shenkeng is on the outskirts of Taipei City.
Right, or houses in the outskirts of town usually cost less than those in the center. So this prison called Iwahig is located in the outskirts of Puerto Princesa, and it focuses on reform instead of punishment. And that's quite special because most prisons focus on punishment, right? You're in prison as a punishment for something that you did, you broke a law, so as punishment you are put in prison, but not in this case.
Yeah, it's kind of radical here. Most prisons want to punish people, put them in cells, beat them, torture them, starve them, let them get sick and things like that. We think of that as punishment, but here they're thinking, hey, we need to reform these people. In other words, we need to help them become something different. We're always talking about government reform or tax reform. The tax laws might be unfair, so the government wants to reform those laws. to try to improve them, etc. And let's talk about how they reform those prisoners. Prisoners here work on farms or sell handmade objects to visitors, and the profit they make goes into savings they receive after their release. So here they're trying to reform those prisoners and not beat them and not torture them and not punish them. They want to reform them. Hey, this sounds very humanitarian.
It sounds really effective as well. I kind of wish that more countries, more societies would use this kind of prison system where people can come out better and reformed, and maybe they're able to start new lives without having to resort to breaking the law, because oftentimes when people come out of prison, they come out the same person. They're not better.
Yeah, it doesn't improve them at all. So this sounds like a great concept here, and you can check this place out as well. And you might actually buy some of these handmade objects, maybe handcrafts or something like that, little sculptures or something. It might be a nice souvenir to bring back after your vacation. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson. Let's now listen to the third and final part.
Many regard Palawan as one of the last unspoiled frontiers in the world. It's a place where rocks, sand, and water create magical vistas, and unbelievable experiences happen every day. Whether you want to visit hidden beaches, mysterious caves, or urban Palawan, spend some time in this slice of heaven soon before you have to come back down to earth.
第三部分，我们看到名词 frontier 指边境、边疆。例如 Life on the frontier is not for people who need a lot of comfort in their life. 在边境的生活不适合追求舒服的人。最后我们看到单字 vista 这个字是名词，指景色、远景。举例来说 The house on the cliff has a vista of the ocean and the north shore. 峭壁上的房子拥有海洋和北岸的景色。
So we're looking at Palawan, and we've talked about its beaches, its caverns, and also the urban area, urban city of Puerto Princesa, and also a very particular jail or prison system that is called Iwahig. Now, many regard Palawan as one of the last unspoiled frontiers in the world. It's a place where rocks, sand, and water create magical vistas, and unbelievable experiences happen every day. So being an unspoiled frontier in the world means to be that last area before something else happens, before other areas that are spoiled begin to exist. So being at the frontier means being at the last line before something else begins to happen.
So indeed, it may be one of the last unspoiled frontiers in the world. It hasn't been bought up by developers, and there are not condos or luxury apartments all over the place. You still got nice jungles and lagoons and caves and beaches. And yeah, it's a place where rocks, sand, and water create magical vistas. A vista, of course, is a great scene that you see with your eyes, and you just want to take out that camera and take pictures all day long.
Right. It's a beautiful view that you can see from a particular place. So Palawan offers beautiful vistas because it has beautiful nature and probably interesting sights in the city as well. So whether you want to visit hidden beaches, mysterious caves, or urban Palawan, spend some time in this slice of heaven soon before you have to come back down to earth. So in other words, when you go to Palawan, you have all of these chances to see different things. You can see mysterious caves. So these caves are mysterious. You don't really understand them very well. They're kind of dark. They're kind of exciting and scary, which is what mysterious means. For instance, I could say the woman's mysterious death has left the police confused. So the same thing can be said about these caves. They're mysterious. There's something dark and strange about them.
Yeah, they are dark inside there. You'll be in total darkness, so that can be quite mysterious. It's a place you don't really know a lot about. And, of course, you don't have to go to the rural areas of Palawan. You can go to the urban areas, to some of those towns, and have some great meals. I'm sure they probably have some museums to check out as well, maybe art galleries or whatever. So, yes, indeed, you can spend some time in this slice of heaven soon. A slice of heaven, a little bit of heaven here, heaven on earth, and then you'll have to come back down to earth. Which is okay, of course, if you go to the Philippines there and have a really great time in this tropical paradise. You will have to come back to Taipei or Kaohsiung or Taichung or wherever you live, and you'll have to come back down to earth. You'll have to face reality. You'll have to go back to school. You'll have to go back to work. But heck, you'll have had a really great time in the Philippines and you'll remember it forever. So your life back in your hometown will be really wonderful as a result.
That's true. And oftentimes when you have a really nice holiday in such kinds of places, you have fun when you're there for a week or so, but you don't really want to stay there for a long, long time because after a while you begin to miss your normal life also. You miss your routine, you miss your friends at school, your colleagues at work. So it's a good balance to take a holiday in such a place and then come back to normal life, come back down to earth.
Indeed. And hey, I'm going to talk to my travel agent first thing after the show. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny， 我们来看见文法重点。课文第二部分一开始有提到说巴拉望的自然区域美不胜收，以至于很多游客跳过了首都公主港，那是他们一大损失。句子里面用到 to their loss 来表达他们的一大损失，这个 loss 在这里就是指损失。好，那我们就来补充一下 to somebody's再加上名词的用法，这可以用来表达让某人感到怎么样的事，令某人怎么样的事。好，其中的名词呢，我们会用情绪名词，它必须用单数。那常搭配的情绪名词有 disappointment 失望， joy 快乐， shock 震惊， surprise 惊讶， regret 遗憾等等。例如Dylan took his girlfriend to the fancy restaurant, but to his surprise, she didn't like it. Dylan 带他女朋友去那间高级餐厅用餐，但令他惊讶的是，他女朋友并不喜欢，所以 to his surprise 就表示令他惊讶的事。好，那另外我们还可以在 to 的前面加上副词 much 来强调程度，像 much to their relief, the crisis is finally over.危机总算解除，让他们大大松了一口气。好，接着看到课文同一个句子里面有用到 so beautiful that 怎么样来表达非常美丽以至于怎么样。我们这边就来比较 so that 和 such that 的用法。好， so 怎么样加 that 子句，跟 such 怎么样 that 子句都可以用来表达如此怎么样以至于怎么样，非常怎么样结果怎么样。可是 so 和 such 后面所接的词性不同哦。so 的后面是要接形容词或副词，那它的句型是 so 加形容词或副词加 that 子句。这样的句型是要强调 so 后面的形容词或副词来说明某个事物它程度高到造成某个结果，那么就用 that 子句来表达那个结果。例如 The patient was so weak that she could barely stand up. 那位病人身体非常虚弱，几乎没办法站立。那么几乎没办法站立，这个 that 子句就是在说明这个结果咯。好，至于 such 它是用来修饰名词，常见的句型是 such a 或 an 加形容词加单数可数名词再加 that 子句，或者是 such 加形容词加上复数可数名词或不可数名词再加 that 子句。例如 We had such fine weather yesterday that we spent the entire day at the beach. 昨天天气非常好，所以我们一整天都待在海边。这边的 such fine weather 我们是用 such 后面搭配这个不可数名词来用。好，那最后我们来看一组例句来比较看看 so 跟 such 的用法哦。例如It is such a cold day that we feel like staying at home. 今天天气如此寒冷，以致我们想待在家里。这个句子就会相当于 It is so cold today that we feel like staying at home. 好，我们大家子句都一样，就是差在前半部 It is such a cold day 还有 It is so cold today 这边就特别注意说 such 后面它是接名词 a cold day 然后 so 后面是搭配形容词 cold 好，希望这样同学们有更清楚了。以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Paddle. This tour requires you to paddle through some rough waters. Astonishing. Carly finished the entire final exam in an astonishing 10 minutes. Possess. Students need to possess basic reading and math skills before they finish school. Outskirt. My parents bought a house on the outskirts of Paris after they retired. Reform. The current minimum wage law is in need of reform. Frontier. The explorers set out on a journey to the continent's eastern frontier. Mysterious. Ella discovered a mysterious letter in her mailbox when she returned home. Urban. Most of the world's population lives in urban areas.
Discussion Starter starts now!
So now it's time for our discussion starter. Now, Roger, which attraction in Palawan would you want to visit the most and why?
Well, I want to see those towns because I tend to like cities, I like towns, I like to check out museums, I like to walk down sidewalks and meet strangers and chat with them and stuff like that. But I could also check out some of those natural attractions like the cave or the beaches. Those would be fun too. How about you?
Well, I'm actually interested in going to Iwahik prison because I want to look at some of the handiwork, the stuff that they make, and maybe buy some souvenirs and bring them back home and give to friends here.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.